Wish both teams all the best in this Challenge Cup game.
Absolutely. Barrow Raiders then against Oldham here on BBC Sport. Third round of the Betfred Challenge Cup, and already it's Ramon Silva, whose nickname is Razor for those WWF fans of the early to mid-90s out there. He is trying to lead this Barrow side forward, and it's an early penalty from referee Marcus Griffiths, by the way, so some elite referees in for this game. It's a big contest. There's no Super League fixtures obviously until this Thursday coming, so the big guns have been wheeled out for this one too.
Yeah, I think he thought that the markers weren't square there, and interested to see Ryan Johnson putting the ball over the sideline. One of the features of Barrow's games up to now have been the fact that they've completed very high, they've defended well, and the kicking game through Johnson and Walker has been exceptional.
So it's taken in by Matt Costello, formerly of St Helens, of course, came through the academy there. Old St James Junior, Charlie Emsley with those flowing locks. The competition for Brad Fash in the old mullet stakes, isn't it there? Josh Wood, very prominent from that acting half position. Turned back on the inside as Barrow edge forward. Into position that time is Burke. Out the back, Johnston. Little no-look pass finds Cresswell. Wide again out to that far side where Luke Broadbent will try to examine some space, and another decision goes Barrow's way here. Well, they've marched Oldham downfield with some ferocity there, John.
Yeah, it's a late tackle, wasn't it? And they're taking the 2 points, which is understandable from from the Barrow Raiders, because Challenge Cup games, Matt, it doesn't matter whether you're in by 1 or 101, all you get is the next round, and I'm certain they'll be looking at that. And in Ryan Shaw, Ryan Johnson's given the ball to Ryan Shaw, and in Ryan Shaw they've got one of the best kickers in the championship, well, one of the best kickers in the game. I mean, it really is. He's robotic in his preparation, and his execution is absolutely first class, so I've given him a big build-up, so let's hope he nails it.
Yeah, well, the pressure's on you now, John. Ryan Shaw, Barrow-born, went away to play for the Warrington Wolves Academy, ended up coming back, and I think the strength of the good Cumbrian sides these days is that players are coming back. They do see that there's a pathway. So Ryan Shaw with the opportunity just to tip the scoreboard over at the Highpool Road end of the ground. And the flags go up. So we have our first points of the game, and they go Barrow's way. Well, if you get into decent ball and you come away with points, especially at this stage of the game, John, can't argue.
Exactly right, Matt. And Oldham will be pretty disappointed because, with nearly 3 minutes gone, they haven't touched the ball yet. So they need really to tidy up the discipline and make sure that they complete the defensive set, because, as you rightly said, the first one, they marched them down the field. The second one, they were offside in a kickable position. And while ever there's a kickable position, I'll tell you, Ryan Shaw will take full advantage of it.
Up and running then, as Oldham restart. The clock, by the way, is a guide. Oh, and I thought for a second the touch judge's flag was up there. He's obviously allowed play to continue. Adam Jackson, by the way, is starting this game. He was listed initially among the interchanges, but he's on the field.
I'll tell you what, Matt, that left edge of Oldham with Wardell Craven, Jordan Turner and Jack Johnson, it's some edge, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got some strike out there, haven't they? Likewise, so have Barrow. Is Broadbent, though. Ranju runs into the brick wall that is O'Keefe, another former Wigan youngster. Offered up early here as this Barrow side looks for an opportunity through Greenwood.
Some physicality, though, in that defence, isn't there? 3 men in the tackle there and really controlling that ruck area.
Yeah, Wildie and Lawton, and there's a clever little kick on here, maybe. It's well taken in the end, then turned back on the inside. Oh, what a lovely flick that is! Shaw into space now for Barrow. Oh, pushes back on the inside, and Johnston could not gather it on his 100th appearance. And eventually play will be brought back, but we just saw that a little bit of invention there. It ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac, didn't he, Johnston? But found a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, magnificent play that really was. I mean, it was virtually like a punt pass, wasn't it, off the foot there, that Ryan Shaw took really well, and it was only Danny Craven being very smart and positioning himself between the ball carrier and the support player that allowed Oldham to diffuse the situation. But look how smart that is. Very, very clever indeed there, that punt pass, and then through the goal. What a lovely little offload there from Matt Costello. Yeah. Almost came up with a try, and let's hope we see a lot more of that. Great invention in that play.
Meanwhile, Jordan Turner taking the game to Barrow on the back of that missed opportunity. Wildie offers it up to Johnson, should I say. Outside backs getting involved here for Oldham. Sean Longside looking to make the headway. As Elijah Taylor just popped a little pass up that time for Chapelhow. Met by the force of Greenwood. Now Ellis. Lawton, who's operating on an edge, and he's a big human being. Here comes Astley. Plenty of threat about him.
Yeah, he's a great running threat. Yeah, he's a real quality player. You know, formerly with Wigan, and in the game against Halifax, he was a handful throughout, and that was one of the go-to players as well in the Halifax game previously, where Jamie Ellis or Danny Craven put the ball high into the corner, the good kick chase, then they revved up and were really physical in defence.
Yeah, Cresswell feeling the force of Craig Kopczak that time. So far, a couple of little moments of stoppages, but it's been fairly open, been fairly end-to-end as Brett Carter tangles with the Oldham defensive line. Lawton and Elijah Taylor peel away. Notice the rooks a lot cleaner these days, John. They really are clamping down on that.
And look, rightly so as well. You know, I mean, the laws of the game say you should make an attempt to play the ball with the foot, and that's been an emphasis, as illustrated there by the Barrow player.
Yeah, Adam Jackson whacks one downfield. And after it goes Astley, and that blue line just edges up to catch him, and they don't want to give him any broken field, really.
That was a good chase, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A real full-line chase there, and consequently it nullified any problem that Astley might be able to pose.
Remember Josh Wood, when he was at Wakefield, every player pretty much said he was the top tackler in the club.
Yeah, he can tackle.
He's the number 9, by the way. He's like an axe. He just hacks away, chopping people down. Greenwood and Wilkinson that time. Ellis turns a little pass onto
Adam Lawton.
He's just so big, isn't he?
He's as big as a grandstand, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a weapon on that far side. I mean that in the nicest possible way. Ellis drifting. Now Astley it is, who opens up a bit of space. Turner, oh, lovely dummy! Jordan Turner into space. Astley on his out inside. Johnson on his out, and back on the inside to Turner. Great scramble though from Barrow, and somehow they've shut down the play, but it's not gone yet.
It's the last play, isn't it? Last play.
Craven, Astley with a little dink to the corner. Carter underneath it, and in the end that was passive, a bit passive.
Well done, Barrow. Well done, Barrow there, because they were split wide open. Costello, it was, I think, jumped the line, and it opened it up, and created by Danny Craven and Jamie Ellis. But what scramble! That's a real desire. They're good signs there for Paul Craig and his Barrow Raiders team, but that's a good sign as well from Oldham with the line speed.
Yeah, Charlie Emsley not being allowed to break out here. Silver's turn. He learned MMA and jiu-jitsu at his dad's gym. Born in Sao Paulo, one of the more exotic figures in rugby league these days. That's Josh Wood. Turns the ball into Wilkinson, who looked for an option and then was clattered by a combination of Taylor and Kopczak. There's a good 60 years worth of class there, and physicality as Johnston launches downfield. That's got some
good kick.
Distance on it.
It turned Astley around there, didn't it? That's just what they needed, because they didn't get much yardage with the carries, but my word, what a left-footed kick that was from Johnston.
Astley just offering one up to Moagoro. He looked to go on the outside, but Brett Carter clung on there. And it's at the expense of a penalty.
Is it offside?
I was looking for Marcus Griffith's signal there.
Yes, because there was certainly nothing wrong with the tackle. Flopping on afterwards, which has been another thing that they've been trying to tidy up the RFL to make the rucks a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
And at the minute it's working.
Yeah, very few indiscretions so far. Those that have occurred have been picked out, but plenty of ball in play. Wildie finds Ellis. Now Taylor. Bumpers up there from Barrow. New Zealand international felt the force. Craven. Oh, lovely short ball to Turner. Typical shouts of forward. Every rugby league crowd has them.
It's a shape they use a lot, though, with the four-man attacking line there, where Turner leads and Wardell goes round the back. A really threatening edge, this left one.
Kopjak sets a point here for Oldham. Craven hovering at first receiver. Flings one to Wardell, who almost punched his way through. Last tackle. Wildie. Craven off the toe. And that was Slipfielder's hands there.
It's Cresswell, is it?
Yeah, with the head guard.
Yeah, did a great job there. Good positioning from the fullback, and this emphasis on line speed, it's not worked a couple of. That's the third penalty that Oldham have given away. So I'm sure that Coach Sean Long will be getting a message one way or the other. Emphasise the line speed, but wait until go on the foot. That's when you're legally allowed to advance.
So Johnston finds touch, and Paul Carreri, whilst defending does take it out of the tank, he will be happy at the way his side have stood up to what's been thrown at them.
Yeah, very much so. Well, they've generally looked after the ball well, haven't they? And as we remarked, they've had 2 competitive games in the 1895 Cup, only conceded 4 tries over 2 games, so they've really worked hard on that, I believe, in pre-season.
Yeah, 2 derbies, Whitehaven and Workington both dispatched to take the local bragging rights and edge them closer to a place in the next round of the 1895 Cup, which is, of course, another opportunity for those Championship and League One clubs to head to Wembley. Here comes Ramon Silva again. Trucking beyond halfway. Slowing down the ruck. Notice Craig Kopjak didn't get involved. In the past, maybe he might have come in at third man and tried to slow that down, but
nice
that
kick.
dink to the corner.
Nice
it's on a button, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he did well, did Astley, getting into the field of play there, because if they'd have carted him into the in-goal area, it'd have been a repeat set, but he just got his nose into the field of play. But this is some good work from Barrow, the kick and the transition into defence.
Yeah, they don't want to allow Oldham a route out here, and Agoro is the type of player who might just slip a yard. They've got a penalty here. That must be an offside one, is it?
No, Marcus.
No, Marcus not square.
Yeah.
So they ping the ruck again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope the referees are consistent throughout the game and throughout the season with regard to that.
Yeah, we shall see, John. Time will tell. Time will tell. Jordan Turner looked to tap it quickly. Charlie Emsley just receiving a bit of treatment here. Down on one knee. Yeah, it's been a brutal fare so far. Bit of spray for the Scotland international.
I'll tell you what, I am jealous of his hair, you know.
Likewise.
Cracking, isn't it?
I stick a bit at the front of mine, that'll do.
But he's been a stalwart, hasn't he, Charlie Emsley, in the past few years of this Barrow team, who got promoted from League One and then consolidated in the Championship and narrowly escaped relegation last year. But they're a good team and they take some beating.
Absolutely. They lost T. Ritson to St Helens, which is a big blow in terms of that try-scoring ability, but they've got a good side. Cries it forward as Elijah Taylor took the pass from Craven. Wildie poised. Pitch just starting to cut up a little. Ellis out the back to Astley. Carter read it. Barrow have come up with the ball here.
Yeah, it was a good read, wasn't it, from the centre there, Brett Carter, because he could see the shape. He realised that it was the backman play, and he went and got him and forced the error.
And now it's his turn to edge Barrow forward. Wood has willing options in the shape of Greenwood, who comes back almost behind the ruck there, trying to poke his nose through. Keeping the game as clean as possible. Marcus Griffiths, here comes Greg Burke.
Well, credit to the players, you know what I mean? The ball, they're playing the ball with the foot consistently. It's really good.
Cresswell and Johnston both popping up on this right edge. Johnston takes it from Jackson. Tip on there from Costello. Clever play is Shaw. They're in a good spot here, Barrow. Last one. Costello again, shows some nice touches. Johnston pokes one to the in goal. Oh, it's gathered and then dropped and then dotted down. And Barrow might be in here through James Greenwood. And the try is given. Well, he was right place, right time, wasn't it? It was a fumble as the ball headed towards the sticks. Seemed to bounce off the post pad right into the hands of the Barrow player who dotted it down. And that's the first try of the game.
Yeah, some high-quality play there. First of all, down the right edge. Then this kick, it's been a feature of Barrow's season, 2-game season up to now. A lovely little kick there that was aimed at the third man in defender, Jamie Ellis, and he got mixed up with the post. It came loose and Greenwood didn't ask any questions. He just dotted the ball down for 4 points. So a great start for the Raiders.
Absolutely. Much vaunted side that this Barrow side has, Oldham side has, should I say, in terms of personnel. And it's a 6-0 lead with a kick to come here. And as John was saying, Ryan Shaw is metronomic. He's regular off the tee. And you went back against him.
No, you'll get short odds with this kick.
So kick from Shaw. And he just tips it through with a consummate ease. So an 8-0 lead.
Well, they've been pretty clinical, haven't they, Barrow, Matt? They really have. When, as you've right said, when they've got into the 20-metre zone of the Oldham side, they've come away without a penalty or a try. Whereas Oldham have been camped really in the Barrow half. But unfortunately for them, they haven't come out with anything, which is credit, first of all, to mostly, I would say, to Barrow's urgency in defence.
So back to the middle come Oldham. The old shipbuilders, or the Raiders as they've been known of more recent times, will get the ball back here unless Jamie Ellis comes up with something a little cuter. But it's down that end of the field, right in front of the Willie Horn Way end of the ground where the Oldham fans are currently amassed. Willie Horn, of course, the part of the side that won the Challenge Cup with Barrow in 1955. 4 runners-up occasions in the competition. As for Oldham, well, they've won it 3 times. The last time was 101 years ago, so they've got some catching up to do. Long time between drinks and all that. It's Broadbent.
I'll tell you what, they're enjoying shifting the ball in their own half, aren't they, Barrow? They're certainly not going down blind alleys. They're looking for the space.
Yeah, Greenwood on that edge. Is he proving a useful foil? Matt Carter. This is a slow ruck as O'Keefe got himself trapped in. I think Marcus Griffiths will say, just clear the rock up and get on with it. Johnston to Wilkinson.
It's a decent set, this, from Barrow, because, you know, after they've scored a try, they've looked after the ball, they've got to halfway, and then this guy's left foot is very, very consistent with that and very clever. Good kick.
Yeah, there was mixed it up, hasn't he? He's punched a few downfield with distance, and that one was a little grubber along the ground, wasn't it? Just threaded in, and it's turned Oldham round.
Well, that's a great set, isn't it? Once you've scored, if you turn the ball over, what is it, 15 metres away from the opposition line, you'd be pretty happy with that.
So Ryan Shaw it was with the try and with the goal. So he was the man in the right spot. I'm in that crowd. Here comes Chapelhow, Jay Chapelhow, that is, the twins. Both part of this Oldham side. They've tended to follow each other around, both at Widnes, both at Newcastle. Back now with Kopchak.
He's been a stalwart, hasn't he, of the game for many, many years, and he really has. He helps any team he turns up in the Championship. Great at Featherstone for the past couple of years, and now he's in League One with Oldham.
Elijah Taylor got some real yardage out there. Wardle, who can really play on an edge, and he is doing so here. Jordan Turner just outside of him. As John was saying, that left side looks dangerous. Craven back to Chapelhow again. Bit of footwork there, but It was well read by Silver and Emsley. Craven now into Ellis. Short ball for Lawton. He's a big man, and they stop him just about. But they're in range here.
Yeah, they're running him at Johnston, aren't they? They really are.
Wildie to Kopjak, looking for that wraparound. Couldn't quite make it. Yard or so away, Wildie. Back to Ellis. The kick is good. That's a really good chase and a really good try from Ben O'Keefe. Tracked it to perfection, and Oldham are on the board, and the deficit is halved.
Yeah, nice piece of play there from Jamie Ellis. It really was. Fielded the ball, took it to the line, then just dabbed the kick behind it. That brought the winger up, and it made it difficult for the fullback to get across, and O'Keefe was Johnny on the spot there, following the kick for a very, very good try. A try, in all honesty, that with the pressure they've exerted this first quarter of the game, they do deserve. So 8 points to 4. Jamie Ellis with the kick to come.
Yeah, he's made an impression. Ben O'Keefe, ex-Wigan Academy player, scored on his debut for the Warriors, scored on his debut for Barrow as well. 2 in 2 for him. I should have said for Oldham. We could have. Yeah, so in the red and white of Oldham, as he did in the cherry and white of Wigan, he has found the mark.
So important goal kicking, isn't it, Matt, in knockout rugby league? And this is a pretty difficult kick from Ellis. So if he nails it, it'll be a real boost for the Oldham side.
Yeah, Jamie Ellis has played in Challenge Cup finals before, 2014 for Castleford. He was on the bench that day as the kick is no good. So it's still a score lead here.
Yeah, 8-4. The two kicks from shore, the difference. But that just showed how dangerous that Oldham were there. I mean, there was the charge from Lawton, and then followed by Kopjak, which rocked Barrow and put them on the back foot, and then some smart play from Ellis with that deft little kick. And interesting, hasn't it, Matt? Both tries have come from kicks at the minute, so it shows the commitment and the quality to defending that both sides are demonstrating.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work hard to get your way through. So here they come with Chapel Howe off the line.
He's not small either, is he?
The pair of them are fairly formidable, the Chapel Howe brothers. So into the middle of the park they come.
Owen Farmworth off the bench, yeah.
Former England Academy player, witness, played in Super League with them. As Elijah Taylor throws the dummy and manages to make Greg Burke and James Greenwood do a bit of work there. Oh, Chapel Howe really poked his nose through. Last one here, though, for Oldham.
Really good set, this. Very direct.
Wildie gives it to Craven off the toe. And then at the back, Shaw is solid, but he was cleaned out there by Jordan Turner.
Yeah, nothing illegal as he took the ball. His feet were on the ground, so that's rugby league.
So Jackson just tosses the ball up there. There's another interchange has been made. It was Costello coming through that time. Both sides just looking to the benches here as Harvey Makin comes on, the Wigan loanee.
Well, both sides, Matt, are really looking after the ball well, aren't they? It's a good quality game. I mean, the only way that the opposition's really been able to cart it up, get to the opposition, is win through penalties.
Yeah, Adam Jackson hurried into the kick. It was a good one. Logan Astley took that on the skid. And then Jack Johnson looking for the gaps. And the mud just starting to cover those shirts now as Moagoro gives the Barrow defence a bit of work to do. And the other Chapel Howe just emerging on the scene here.
What a good tackle.
That was a belter, wasn't it?
That was Josh Wood. Josh Wood, yeah. Right under the ball. They talk about tackle heights now. That's as good a way to tackle as it is. Get off the line, bend your back, hit under the ball.
Taylor, oh, little pop pass that time to Farmworth. Elijah Taylor, a silky back rower. Now Craven again gives it air time. Watching it all the way is Cresswell. And he is elusive, isn't he? Give him a bit of space.
He is, he's very good, but really impressed there how he fielded that ball. I mean, Danny Craven with those high kicks, he really does spiral them, and they're pretty difficult to field, and Cresswell made it look easy.
Luke Broadbent tackled there by Elijah Taylor and Wildie. And now Brett Carter's turn. You get a bit of mud on his chops. Wood. Now Wilkinson. Route one here from Barrow as they look to clear their lines. Making maybe winding up. Instead it goes to Johnston, and it's going to be height and depth from the kick rather than... well, that might just have a bit too much on it, John.
Yeah.
7-tackle set.
It is a 7-tackle set, but he's got such good distance, hasn't he, Ryan Johnson, on his kicks, that even if they don't make so many yards with the carries, he can really sort of eat that yardage up, you know, through the flight of the ball off his boot.
Wildie. Then they have been pinged here.
Offside,
Barrow, offside. Must be an offside call that time.
And again, that's going to give Oldham opportunity in the Barrow half.
Yeah, Danny Craven just slugs it into the main stand. And suddenly, field position a little bit more favourable for those in red and white. As O'Keefe finds Ellis switched into Chapel House hands, the other brother.
The other one, yeah, Ted.
Ted. Wildie picks that short side. Astley out to Lawton. Just a battering ram, isn't he?
Well, they're running him at Ryan Johnson. Yeah. You know, it's time after time, so he's going to have a long afternoon. Is Mr. Johnson defensively.
Ellis to Craven. Oh, nice dummy. Craven, oh, he's almost through. Ball comes loose. Oh, and Marcus Griffiths pulls play back.
Is he giving his first knock on from Oldham? Right. So I think that's the right decision, although if Barrow wanted to knock on, you wonder why he didn't play on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's advantage. But hey, scrum restart because of the header.
Adam Jackson prepares to place this ball in to the scrum, and out it pops, and Brett Carter is the recipient, and the recipient of some pressure from Oldham. Penalty over another flop, isn't it? That.
Yeah. Well, you just can't lend weight now. You can't, as a second effort, you can't lend weight. It's got to be all in the collision, in the contact, that you win the ruck.
Any delay to the player getting up.
That's it.
Pinged. So Josh Wood is taking a break. Aaron Smith.
Yeah, it's not a bad replacement, is it?
It's not. No, there he is, the first side to the 2019 Super League Grand Final winner with St Helens, as he just pops a little short pass to Makin.
I like this youngster, Harvey Makin.
Yeah.
You know, the games I've watched, he comes on and he works very, very hard and carries really well.
Yeah, very busy, isn't he? Wilkinson runs aground on Wildie and Farmer's shoulders. Jackson. Now Johnston, kicking behind. Has Astley scurrying back, and Astley has the composure to watch it dead. A 20-metre tap and a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with Ryan Johnson there. They kicked off shape and they kicked early in the tackle count, and all it's done is given possession away. And as you rightly indicated, Matt, it's a 7-tackle set, so Astley was pretty cool there, though, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He just held his time and didn't panic, and we've got a bit of a jump start here again, thanks to Barrow's ill discipline. So Craven just making sure that everyone's behind him as he boots this one to touch, and he's given that a good old whack as well. And certainly Oldham are in a strong position here.
They've had a run of penalties, though, haven't they, the Oldham? So they'll need at some stage, with this wealth of possession and field position, they'll need to sort of post some points as a reward for it.
Yeah, Smith and Elmsley that time stopping Farnworth in his tracks. Now Ellis, now in comes Elijah Taylor again, is it? No, it's Pat Moran who's just come on. So of mixing up the pack here. Ellis to the line, out the back, Craven. Craven trying to slip his way through. Elmsley locks on.
Did well there, the back rower.
Ashley, Farnworth again. They're unloading here on this Barrow defence. Got to get the numbers right. Wildie. Now back Craven, Ellis. Sliding move here, O'Keefe. And Agoro, they're going to try and run him down a cul-de-sac here. Got plenty of numbers in the frame.
That was good defence, a really good defence. Composed defence, took space, slid out and closed the danger down.
Ashley hangs up a kick. Well taken that time, Chapelhow. It's a turnover right on Barrow's line, but again, you've mentioned it, wealth of possession, nothing to show for.
No, it's great defence from the Barrow Raiders. They really are working hard for each other, working within their structure, and they're being very efficient as well.
Smith has a little peek either side of the rung, and we'll find Shaw. It's been a bruising fair so far, an entertaining game.
Been a cracking game, it really has. Till it's knockout rugby league, and you tell you're at round 3 of the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, Ramon Silva. That's a good carry from him.
Completions are really high on both teams, aren't they? Both teams regularly get into the kick.
Yeah, Jackson that time splits the fullback and wing.
That's a good kick.
And if this will hold up...
That will hold up.
Oh, it is. And Jack Johnson says, oh, goodness, what am I going to do here as he runs into a blue wall?
Yeah. You know, Brad Walker, he's, you know, he hasn't... whether he picked up an injury in the warm-up or whatever, but Jackson really has stood in very, very well for him, hasn't he? And you've hardly noticed any difference.
Yeah, he's one of those, another of those that Paul Crary has taken from the amateur game. Barrow Island half-back, who's been given a chance at professional level. That community game, if you can tap into that, get the raw, you know, those kind of raw gems.
Oh, it's very strong, isn't it, in Cumbria, the community game? It really is.
Yeah, you were mentioning Wath Brown action today as well.
Yeah, Wath Brown at Stanley, yes, that'll be a cracking game.
Farnworth plunges forward for Oldham. Wildie has options. Craven gets his hands on the ball and his boot to the ball. Cresswell again watches its flight and takes it.
Well taken.
And he's trying to launch a breakout here with Broadbent, who ran into Lawton. You know, it wasn't even a tackle there, it was just bump.
Yeah, but Luke Cresswell is a really underrated player, Matt, you know, and he just does his job and does it really efficiently.
And here come Barrow. Pat Moran that time making the tackle along with Farnworth. There is a sort of Widnesian feel, isn't there, and about parts of this Oldham side. And here is the sapper himself, Mike Ogunwole. A proud sapper from the British Army. Played a bit of rugby union at Saracens, was part of the London Broncos Academy in rugby league, of course, as well. And he's been given a chance here with Barrow to test himself.
Good kick again. Once again, a good kick. And I'll tell you that Ogunwole is as wide as he is big. He's just tall.
Yeah, he's a machine, isn't he, by the looks of it. Really interested to see how he gets on. Saw him plenty of carries in the game against Whitehaven last time out, as he was brought on off the bench. Jordan Turner now being used as the outlet, as Oldham try to creep their way back into this game. Had plenty of ball, plenty of possession. We've seen plenty of touches from Craven and Ellis, but just the O'Keefe tried to show for it so far.
It's been a very good game, very good game.
Wildie that time and Macon involved in the tackle. Craven has to kick from halfway. This time it's more about just clearing the decks, but it just
too long.
Trickles.
Yeah. Again, Ryan Shaw there showing his composure. Just letting the ball trickle over there, and that's got his side 20 metres and an extra tackle.
And Shaw, who takes the carry off the tap. Cresswell.
The pitch is cutting up a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about some rain up in the Lake District.
Yeah, Darren, who's part of the Barrow club, has been kind of giving me a few sort of weather reports in the build-up to this one. Darren Herbert.
Good carry. Ramon Silva.
Yeah, he's making a bit of headway, the former Wigan man. He's decided to give it a crack in the Championship with Barrow. Plenty of options, of course, at Wigan in his way. Harvey Makin is a loanee, and he has spilled that. Or was it reefed out? The call goes Barrow's way.
Yeah. I think he's a little lucky there. From the naked eye, it looked as if he was trying to offload. But as we stated earlier, Matt, if they get a penalty within kicking distance, and kicking distance basically is in the opposition half for Ryan Shaw, they'll take that and they'll keep the tins rattling on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we know this pitch well. Ryan Shaw, of course, his dad had played and captain Barrow, so it's very much in the family. As he just takes a chance to wipe down his boots. You know, he used to be wiping on the sock, but they've got a towel for that now, John.
Yeah, yes.
Cosseted players, eh?
Yeah, well, they've also got kicking tees, haven't they, rather than... It used to be the old heel in the ground, and then it became sand, and then it's the kicking tee, so...
Yeah, so Ryan Shaw, given all the implements required to help him with this kick, would make it a converted score lead again. Great cup tie, though. Place in the fourth round up for grabs, of course. Swinton or West Hull will lie in wait in the fourth round. Of course, the draw's done in pairs at this stage. There's Ryan Shaw. Has he got the range? Has he got the accuracy? Yes, he has. 10 points to 4 off the boot of Ryan Shaw.
Yeah, that's the difference at the minute, Matt. 2 penalties in the conversion from the wingman. And, you know, Barrow, I think they're deserving, basically. It's been a very, very even game, very high standard game. Both teams looking after the ball well, kicking well, and obviously both teams defending very well, because it's just one try apiece, and both those tries came from kicks. So it's a good game of rugby league, a very, very competitive game of rugby league.
Yeah, they will be feeling it, no doubt. Of course, it's the clock, by our count, is ticking towards 40 minutes, but it is just a guide. We're not at the behest of the timekeepers, sadly. So it's just a way of kind of giving you a vague idea of whereabouts we are. Ogunwale will get a chance to run here, although the red cordon was upon him pretty sharpish. Aaron Smith wants a quicker run. I'm sure they definitely weren't square there, Moran and Chapel-Howe, but there we go.
And they're slowing the ruck, aren't they, this set, the Oldham side?
Yes, definitely all were, and Charlie Emsley gets the penalty that time. Farnworth pleading his ignorance. Likewise, Joe Wardle, Marcus Griffiths having none of it.
Offside again.
There's defensive zeal, and then there's jump in the good.
Yes. Well, I'm certain that will be one thing both coaches actually speak to the respective sides about, is just that element of discipline when you're defending right on the opposition line.
Aaron Smith stepping in, taking control of the ruck here for Barrow, as Johnston took one off his bootstraps that time. Greenwood was folded up that time and absolutely splattered, and I think he's feeling it, actually. Hope he's all right.
Yeah, he's penalised them once again. And he really has felt it, hasn't he? Great to see the physio's on so promptly.
And he's moving. He clearly understands what's going on, but he got absolutely whacked.
Time off call by the ref there, so as you rightly said about the time on our screens being a guide, you can see it ticking along, but the referee's called time off, so that's why it's only a guide.
Yeah, Captain Jordan Turner just being spoken to by Marcus Griffiths.
I think it's more about because he wasn't involved in that collision. I think it's more, you know, just tell your team to smarten up and show a bit of discipline.
So Greenwood just being assessed. He's tapped the head, so it will be a head injury assessment. He will go off and there will be an interchange made. There was an immediate tap of the head
from the physio.
Yeah. So at a premium, of course, player welfare. So Johnston just tips it on to Makin. They might have to have a bit of a reshuffle here, but again, they're loading up to this right edge. Johnston and Cresswell have both popped up there. Jackson plays short of the line to Silva, who drops it. Knock on and a promising position.
Yeah, I think that's the first error, really, from Barrow with ball in hand. So they really have been very, very efficient with what they're doing. But that's been a let-off, because that was a real opportunity there, with obviously half-time imminent, for them either to score a try or perhaps slot a drop goal over. But the errors gives lets Oldham off.
So Barrow packing down, trying to decide on the best defensive split in terms of who packs down and who waits outside. Scrum breaks, Wildie finds Turner as they attack the short side. He had Stanley on his outside. He also had Johnson. As Wildie finds Moran, who then in turn tips onto Chapelhow, and he pokes his nose through there. Wildie gets a quick rook here. This speed is difficult to contend with. Lawton, wide to O'Keefe, and then to Agoro. Oh, he was cleaned out. Great tackle.
He's penalising for a high tackle, yeah. I think there was contact with Ed, but I think Agoro, there's mitigating circumstances, because Agoro was falling. So, yes, technically it's a penalty, but there's no malice in it. And once again, they're looking down that four-man short side. They've done it down the left and down the right. That was lovely skill from Lawton and O'Keefe. But penalty there, and it was Johnson, the culprit.
Craven to Astley. Now they've worked the numbers. Turner, can he make it to the line? He might make it to the line. But as the hooter sounds,
he's been absolutely clinical, and at the minute, that's simply the difference.
So we're back underway then for the second half. A guide clock, remember, of course, here on BBC Sport, where it's Barrow Raiders against Oldham. Ambitious Oldham. Mike Ford, former player, former Challenge Cup winner, of course, with Wigan, and a Challenge Cup finalist with Castleford, has done great things with Mike Harrington to take Oldham back to Boundary Park and try to reignite some of that excitement around the town.
It's a great story, isn't it, Matt? They're trying to re-engage with the local community. They've led a nomadic existence for the past decade or so, you know, a couple of decades, and now they're back at Boundary Park. They can establish themselves once more as the town's rugby league team. I think it's a great little story for Mike Ford.
Yeah, and Sean Long in charge as well. High-profile coach, high-profile job. Here goes Craven, looking for some airtime. Cresswell underneath it, and again takes it well, and then the old armadillo act with the hoops converging.
Yeah, he just does his job, doesn't he? We mentioned that in the first half. So efficient is Luke Cresswell, but what he is underestimated on is support play, and we may well get an opportunity to see that as the game goes on. But we spoke about how well both teams are playing. We've also got to realise that because the pitch is so heavy, it's difficult to generate pace in the game to create chances. So that's what makes it an arm wrestler slog, where both teams really are. It's like boxers on the rope, you know, slugging it out.
Yeah, who's got the energy reserves? Smith finds Silva, and he is looking to tiptoe his way through the bog. Credit to the ground staff, by the way. It has absolutely gubbed it down in Barrow, and they've worked really hard to get it playable, and it is playable. Jackson slings one downfield. Paul Crary can also be proud of the work he's done at Barrow. That kick was alive. O'Keefe spills it. Oh, it's almost been picked up by Broadbent. It was picked up by Agoro.
Well, great chase from Broadbent there, but I think the referee got that right. He did go backwards, and then, you know, the ambition there of Oldham, you know, getting it wide straight away on play two.
Yeah, Paul Crary and Barrow trying to edge their way into round 4, where they made it to last season. Round 6 the year before that. As Oldham haven't, well, they're at the third round stage for the first time since 2019, so they're making progress here. 2020's competition sort of null and void, really. Here goes Turner. Turner almost splits the line. Clever offload, finds Craven. And they've got some second phase here, Oldham. They're doing really well. Craven still not been wrapped up. Now Joe Wardle. Yes. What a march downfield.
Great chances that. They've used that shift before to great effect, and it's worked for them once again, but it's taking full advantage of that opportunity. And here's Lawton.
Lawton tip on. Oh, Okoro couldn't take it from O'Keefe. And Marcus Griffiths rules against Oldham, and the play is turned over, but the adventure being shown.
Just an element of composure required there, though, Matt. You know, chances are few and far between because both teams are defending so well. And when you do get the opportunity, you must take it. So that element of composure just missing there from Adam Lawton.
Barrow having to come out of backfield here. They had to make a change in that first half. As we were saying, Jackson on instead of Brad Walker. So it did mean that the 18th man, Delane Bedward, stepped up. Finn McMillan from Furness Raiders, the College Academy, stepped up into the side, and Delane Bedward remains the 18th man. So Finn McMillan is one to watch out for. There's Makin, tackled on the 40-metre line.
Everything's a contest. See, even in tackles there's a contest going on with the defender trying to put them on the back and the attackers trying to land on the front and play it as quick as they possibly can. It's a great game.
Joe Wardle that time dishing out the punishment to Silver. It's booted downfield by Jackson. Shock of blonde hair about him. The dyed blonde, the peroxide. Well taken at the back that time by Johnson. And here come Oldham.
I'll tell you what, these players are earning their money today, Matt. The effort levels of both teams is absolutely first class.
Okoro. Barrow muscling up to stop the winger, who's got some pace if he can get some stride into it. Here goes Lawton. I mean, 4 in the tackle there. It was that's you know, looking at a big body and thinking, let's just cram him.
Pile in, yeah.
Ellis.
This is that shape again.
Craven plays out the back. Lovely hands from Stanley. Turner wide to Johnson, who then cuts back inside. Gets a clever offload away to Wardle. They've got Barrow a little bit on the hook here on that side, haven't they?
That shape's worked really well for them, but they're
criminal.
Just a lack of concentration there.
Well, they pinched it back. Just pinched it out of his hands.
Well, I'm mystified by that. If you touch a player when he's on the ground, the tackle's complete. And he must have touched him when he was on the ground because that's where he was with ball in hand. But anyway, let's play on, and once again we're testing Barrow's resilience here with Oldham in great field position. This game's going to come down to the will, I think, rather than the skill, Matt. I really do. It's who's prepared to tough it out for the longest period of times in difficult conditions.
Yeah, both sets of sides taking on fluids. It might not be the warmest day down in south-west Cumbria, but it's a
physical game. It's
a
very physical game.
And a testing pitch.
Yes,
yeah,
they'll know. They'll sleep tonight, a lot of them, I'll tell you.
So we're going to have a look at this.
Yeah.
At this bit of pickpocketry. So Wardle takes it into contact.
He loses the ball.
He plays it to no one. And he's on the ground there. Well, no, he just played at the ball. Fair dues. Yeah. Well done, Marcus Griffiths, as well. Referee got it exactly spot on. Exactly spot on there from the referee. And the result of that smartness there, it's got them camped on the Barrow line. And Elmsley... yeah, he's leaving the field, limping, isn't he? Hobbling.
Yeah. That's it. The only problem Barrow have with their squad is that it isn't the biggest, Matt.
Yeah.
It isn't the biggest. And already they picked up, you know, Jarrett Stack's suspension and 1 or 2 injuries, and the troops very soon go thin when the week in, week out season's among us.
Yeah, Greg Burke back on. Moran finds the prop Farmworth, fellow front rower. Close to the line here, Wildie. Now Ellis to go himself. Just short of the line.
Held up.
Terrific defence there, literally body in the way from Cresswell.
Well done, Cress. We've remarked how well he's doing his job, and he's doing it once again really well.
Craven, now Wardle, great tackle there, textbook wrap around the waist and then slide down on that edge from Costello. Joe Warren not happy with the tackle, not happy with something anyway. Is he saying he got a handful of his delicates?
I don't know. But he's obviously, they're bringing the touch judges in and the referee, so there's and the two captains. So it's obviously something that will be looked at later on.
Jackson's got no time for it. He's just launched the ball into stand and then got it back.
Yeah, it's on report. So that incident we looked at on report, but it was difficult just to see it because they just tackled him, didn't they? Or so it appeared.
Well, I mean, we've had lengthy bans in the past. Tommy Makinson got one, didn't he, for doing something similar to Liam Watts, as is what perhaps has been alleged. At the moment, we don't know for certain. We'll have to see for the report. But Lawton, was that a loose carry or was it a strip? It was a. It's gone Barrow. Well, Lawton was clapping. I think he thought he'd got the call, and then he hadn't got the call, and Barrow have got it. So loose carry.
Yeah. Well, I think we need the ref to show a bit of composure now, because Adam Lawton did offload the ball back. It was a loose offload, and then it was a bit of a scramble on the ground, so he may well have felt that Barrow knocked it on, but as they got a call against them earlier on, perhaps, they're getting one for them this time. And now it'll be a matter, this is really important because they've had a fair bit of defending to do. It's very important that they complete this set, march the ball forward and end up with a good kick.
There's plenty of players trying to get the jump on here and take this side out of their end of the field. And that will be Finn McMillan, who's just had a touch there. Brett Carter taken down that time by Chapelhow. Johnston,
shifting
they have got options on that side, haven't they? Costello, oh, he pirouettes away. Still going here, and then in goes the tackle from Wildie and Wardle.
Well, you might not make the bus when you shift like that, but what you do, you move the opposition about. And on a day like today, on a pitch like this, it's a decent old tactic.
Yeah, it's all juice out of the tank, isn't it? Kick straight down the throat of Moagoro and then loses the momentum he might have built up by taking it on the full, by skidding on the turf. And
it's great enthusiasm there from Broadbent, wasn't it, with that chase?
Yeah, really hunted him down.
And Cresswell up there as well.
Yeah, certainly not standing on ceremony, is he? His teammates are all working hard. Smith, well, Wardle, I think a few players maybe need to clear the clag away from the boots because there's a bit of slipping going on. Farnworth, he doesn't have any such problems, apart from having Ramon Silva digging into his midriff with a shoulder. Wildie, Moran, Ellis, little switch of the play there as Lawton came through. I mean, talk about battering rams. That certainly was one. Wildie picks off the back of that. Spot some space in behind here. The bounce, though, is very kind to Ryan Shaw.
It was smart wing play, though, as well, Matt. He read that situation and swept around the back just to cover that space that Wildie had spotted.
Incorrect play the ball, so that's a straight turnover. And Oldham have got it right in position here.
Yeah, well, we've complimented Barrow now, the effort they've made to play the ball with the foot. But there, Marcus Griffiths, the referee, has just adjudged that he stepped over that play the ball, didn't make an attempt with the foot, which is one of the directives for this season. So it's a cheap turnover. They've had a few cheap turnovers, haven't they, Oldham? And up to now, they haven't taken advantage. But you just feel at some stage they're bound to cross the whitewash.
Yeah, Ted Chapelhow that time guiding them into a position here. Craven, oh, good line from Turner. Although equally good defence from Barrow. They got numbers in, they read the play.
Well, they scored a try like that against Halifax, exactly the same play, so well done, Barrow.
Switch again now as Chapelhow, Ted Chapelhow. Couple of metres away. Wildie has it. Wildie spots Moran short. Backing in, but can't get it down, can he?
No.
In the end, Silva does really well just to keep that arm away from the line, that ball away. Wildie! That's as simple as it gets. The arch poacher 10 points to 8, and we're 2 points away, and a kick away from parity, John.
Yeah, that's just smart from Matty Wildie. A very, very experienced player who's been, you know, played at a very good level for a long, long time, and there they just punched a hole there with the carry from Moran, which came off Wildie's pass, and then they just didn't organise themselves here quickly enough. You see there to the left-hand side for Wildie, he notices it's too wide is the gap between the marker and the A defender. And I think it was a gun wall, wasn't it, who was so wide. And Wildie joyously went through, plonked the ball down under the post. Kick to come, it's going to be 10 apiece. And we felt these cheap turnovers, it had to come to some effect. And Barrow's completion rate in both games before this and in the first has been sensational. But this second half, they've just gone off the boil a little with it. And it's given Oldham that field position and that pressure to come away with points.
So here we have Jamie Ellis right in front of the sticks. One of the great things of traditional rugby league as Jamie Ellis just tips that one through, squares it up here, 10 apiece. And what I love about this is the Oldham fans in the first half were on the Willie Horn Way end of the ground, and now, because of the classic old school rugby league, they've gone to the other end and they've swapped ends with their team. And I mean, that's one of the great traditional aspects of rugby league, isn't it?
It is, so that you can suck the ball over the post if you surround those posts. It's really, really good game, a tight game. But the momentum's just gone towards Oldham with this in this first 15 minutes or so of the second half. Barrow just need to reassert themselves in this game.
Yeah, long boot downfield, taken in the 10 by O'Keefe, and then offered up to Chapel-Howe. Ted Chapel-Howe it is who fronts up then for Oldham. Likewise, Smith and Makin fronting up for Barrow in defence. Moran will take it up to Finn McMullen and give him a taste of what's to come in his career. The Furness Academy, that's the Barrow youth ranks. He's come through. As it's popped up by the interchange hooker, Bailey Aldridge.
Good set this from Oldham. And that weight of possession, it's telling on the collision area of Barrow. It is. Oldham are winning the collisions at the minute.
Yeah, Chapel-Howe, big part of that. Craven's boot, trying to give them a platform here. Cresswell again watches it. Oh, and he took it on the run. And trying to get Barrow into a position here. At least gets his side around, almost 10 away from their own line here. But that squeeze being applied now from Oldham in terms of personnel, in terms of that line speed, John.
Yeah, it really is, and it's quite an inexperienced Barrow team now, isn't it, in the middle unit, and Oldham are putting a stranglehold on in that area of the field. They need someone, to Barrow, to come up with a big play, whether it's a 40-20 or whatever, or just a good field position kick.
Yeah, what have they got in their ranks here? Burke finds Johnston, and he has shown that he's got some distance on those kicks. That's a better one. It will sit up just outside the 10.
That's a
Stanley.
good kick. Yeah, he's bought some territory for his team, and he's compounded that with a great chase. Well played, Ryan Johnston.
Yeah, good old-fashioned scrag, wasn't it? Managed to draw Stanley in before he could get away, and that blue line up in the chase. So we're finally poised here. 10 apiece. Placing the fourth round of the Betfred Challenge Cup up for grabs, and well, these two sides have certainly put on a show so far.
Well, whoever goes through, Matt, they'll have deserved it, they'll have earned it, because the work rate of both teams is tremendous.
So Johnson trying to get a quick play of the ball. Aldridge finds Chapel-Howe, and his GPS will be hot at the moment. He's been working hard. Aldridge finds Craven again. It's repeat prescription for Barrow as the ball just dipped into backfield. Bounces up kindly for Broadbent. What have Barrow got in their locker still? Plenty of time to go.
They just need to get back in the game, Matt. Be happy to have a set and have the opposition have a set and just work your way back into the game. Because the first 15 minutes were certainly Oldham's of this second half.
Yeah, Makin trying to give them a bit of front foot. Cresswell on the back of that. Johnston picks up from acting half and has a go himself here. Josh Wood is back on, just to supply a bit more brawn, and also Brains with it. Oh, Wilkinson's dropped that cold.
Yes, the pass wasn't the best from Wood, and I think that's an element of fatigue because they've been under the cosh so much and they've been defending so hard that there couldn't be a pretty basic error there. And once again, it's right on the halfway line, so Oldham will have the ball. They'll progress into the Barrow half, and again it'll be the Barrow defence that's being stressed.
So Jamie Ellis waiting to feed the scrum. Bailey Aldridge will be the player who distributes it out, and on that left edge they've now got a 4-3 split, I think, haven't they? As it does go out the back. Craven, Stanley with a bit of chance to run here at a broken line. Good footwork, eventually taken down.
Yeah, it was a good play, wasn't it? The created 4-on-3 there, and Astley had a good little run and a good little look at the defensive line. And it's a great opportunity now, just 20 metres away from the Barrow line, to poke the noses in front for the first time in this game.
Craven, short ball for Wardle. And he hit that at good pace. Cresswell doing his defensive duties. Bailey Aldridge, the distributor. Kopczak got felled there by Burke. Fine tackle. Aldridge again, though, picks the line. Maybe going himself here. Last one for Oldham. Kopczak's in the fray. Ellis is in the fray. Stanley's out the back. Stanley throws to Lawton. Oh, it's a bounce pass that Morogoro couldn't take. And Barrow survived the raid.
Yeah, well, I think that's the best description, is survive, because they were really were stretched, weren't they, once again? But it's just their enthusiasm, and, you know, they're willing to work for each other. Even if the structure breaks down, they're just trying to work so hard for the mate to solve the problems that Oldham are throwing at them. And you'll see here, the shorter numbers here, but it's Adam Lawton who comes up. He just tries to miss the centre out and find the wingman, and it's just not executed well enough. And once again, Barrow live to fight another day.
There's still 90 metres to go on this rapidly cloying turf.
Well, they've hardly been in the Oldham half, have they?
Yeah.
You know, let's face it, been total dominance this second half from the Oldham side.
Yeah, maybe that quality just starting to show. Ramon Silva, though, trying to change perspective.
I was been out there all game, Matt.
Yeah, big minutes. Cresswell throws a pass. Wilkinson caught it this time. Normally dependable. Now they are almost inside Oldham territory. Johnston kept moving that time by Burke. Bit of a commando roll there by Makin as Wood, and they've got a man trapped behind the ruck of Oldham as Jackson sends that one towards the post.
Too far, is it? Yeah, much too far.
I'm not sure he got... I couldn't quite work out what he was looking for.
No, I couldn't either, because he wasn't looking for the kick where the receiver received a defender as well. High tackle there.
Yeah, Morogoro certainly got clobbered by him.
I think that's fatigue as well, you know. They've come up with an error, they've come up with some lazy technique in defence, and they really are under the pump at the minute to this Barrow side.
Yeah, Finn McMillan and Brett Carter, two ends of the spectrum in terms of their careers. Brett Carter has served all three Cumbrian clubs with distinction over a long career, 35 now. Finn McMillan at the opposite end, Furness Academy player, and just waiting for Marcus Griffiths to be happy that play can resume. Kopczak, oh, he had a little run there, didn't he, off his shoulder from Lawton. I just wondered if the tip-on was on, but he thought better of it. Safety first. Stanley, oh, was that an obstruction call? Maybe. Not, says Marcus Griffiths. Logan Astley. Tipped on that time by Chapelhow to Moran. Aldridge is at the dummy half position. Kopczak now short to Chapelhow again. They're making yards for fun now.
They
Aldridge.
really are. They're making yards, and they're leaving Barrow defenders on the floor pretty consistently.
And Shaw had to back that behind. Drop out to come.
So another set. The possession stats for this second half must be, they're weighed heavily in Oldham's favour. They really are. And Barrow need to do something to break this cycle. They've got to break this cycle, because otherwise they're bound to break. The dam's bound to break.
Johnston's boot, potential route out of trouble. Beyond halfway,
good
football skills from Kopczak in the end. As he reaches down and then carts it in.
But Oldham aren't making many errors either, you know. So it really is, it's a stranglehold on the game that they have got at this moment in time. But credit to Barrow, because their resilience in defence is keeping them in the game.
Here goes Craven. Throws a dummy, but Barrow alert to it. Still managed to make meters off the back of it. Wardle has the ball waiting to come in field now with Moran, who plays short of the line to Kopjak. They've set themselves a nice point here. Options either side. Moran being used as a ball player. It's Ellis instead. Lawton. Lawton gets away, and you're not going to stop Adam Lawton from there. They've been threatening it all game. Running off the shoulder of the halfback, and this time Oldham get their reward, and they are in front.
And he's gone at the youngster off the bench who's been looking a little tired. Pretty smart from Ellis there. Big man to the young, inexperienced player who's showing fatigue. And the big man comes through over the top of him. And we've just sensed, haven't we, Matt, that it's been coming, because they've had a real grip on this game of the Oldham side. And again, they're going to go 6 in front, I would guess, with this kick to come. And they're behind the black ball in snooker parlance of the Barrow Raiders. And it's all credit to Oldham. They've stuck to the processes. They've completed high, they've kicked well, and they've defended very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Long as a player was maverick, but his team are actually very disciplined.
They are, but they've had to be.
Yeah.
They've had to, and they've sorted the discipline out with penalties as well this second half. So that get out that Barrow had in the first half has gone. So it's credit to them. It's an improved second. It was a good first half in performance, but it's an improved second half one, as reflected in they've scored 10 points with no reply in the first 24 minutes or so.
So Jamie Ellis lining this one up. Ellis composing himself. Those Oldham fans who've made the trek up to Cumbria so far been rewarded, and they have another cause to cheer, and it is a 6-point lead, John. 16 points to 10.
And full value for it on the balance of the game as a whole, but particularly on the balance of the second half.
So Live Super League begins on February the 17th on BBC Two. Castleford against Wigan from the Menderhost Jungle. The first of the 15 games per season for the next 3 years. 10 on BBC One and BBC Two, or BBC Two predominantly, and then of course 5 also on the streaming platforms. And all the highlights, of course, from every game in the Super League will be available on the BBC Sport website and app as well. So they touched us there, very categorically clear to Marcus Griffiths that wasn't a knock on.
Well, it was a knock backwards. Yes, yeah. I mean, quite right, and that's how there's 2 teams out there. Well, there's 3 teams out there, team and match officials as well, who should work with each other to ensure the correct decisions arrived at.
Yeah, so Barrow now just need to try at least stem the flow initially, then try and creep their way back, because
they just can't get the ball, Matt. Yeah. They cannot get the ball.
Bailey Aldridge supplies the pass that time for Moran. Turn back on the inside, Ellis to Lawton. He's running right at. He's picked out McMillan now, and he's been picking out Johnston. Yeah, he's got his targets, hasn't he?
It works.
Yeah.
But that's. I don't think he played it that.
Ryan Johnston fairly vexed, it's fair to say, with that call. Marcus Griffiths.
Well, he's given that he's raised his arms to play at it, but well, when things are going for you, they go for you. And again, it's dominance of possession. Another repeat set on the back of that playing at the ball when he was kicking it. So again, the resilience once more being tested of this Barrow Raiders defence.
Aldridge waits on the back of Chapo Howe's carry. Craven. Now Ellis. Lawton again. It's kind of, if it works, keep sticking with it.
Correct.
Craven, should I say, Ellis is poised at first receiver. Kopjak maybe wants a dig from close range. Instead it goes to Craven. Out the back, Stanley, but he's well read by Costello.
Well defended, yeah. That was great online defence there from Costello. He had to close that down, and he did close that down.
Aldridge to Chapel-Howe. The shackles are off for him.
They've both Chapel-Howes have been very, very good indeed.
Yeah, relentless. Barrow will certainly remember them. Ellis, now Stanley again. O'Keefe, he's already got one. Can't release the ball. Yes, he can. It's about to. Agoro still the last here. Trying to keep it alive, Mo Agoro. And in the end, Wood gratefully dives on it, but it's a turnover ball, and Barrow, again, well, they'll get the ball back, but I mean, the distances they're going to have to travel. Oldham are turning the ball over, always on their terms.
Yeah, they just can't get in the Oldham half.
Yeah.
You know, that all the game in this second half has been to that far end, and credit to Oldham for turning it around with that. But you know, Barrow need to complete, but they also need to challenge the Oldham defence, and they may well be hoping for a leg up the field from a penalty or something, because there's been very few of them from Oldham this half.
Yeah, they need it, and Ryan Shaw being marched back towards his own line by a three-man tackle that just seeing him drag him back. Sheer weight of numbers. Costello dumps the ball off, and it gets a bit of second phase. Now he's going to open up. Cresswell splits the line. Johnston up in support. Here goes Cresswell, still going. Johnston, he's got support. Wilkinson. Oh, can he get it away? Broadbent as he spilled it.
Yeah. Well, there was a chance there. We talk about Cresswell's support play. He did great there. I think Barrow's got away with a knock on there. Tall on now.
McMillan inside the 10. Wood. Options either side. Charles a poor pass from dummy half. Jackson.
Chance.
Now it's on. Making. Barrow from nowhere, thanks to Cresswell, have dragged themselves downfield. Jackson swings one, hoping Broadbent can't make it. Agoro can, and Oldham do just enough.
Decent turnover, though. They need really to work hard, restrict the yardage, but stay disciplined, not go offside. This set the Raiders.
Yeah, they need to be no perfect here. That's Lawton.
That's 3 tackles gone already.
Finds himself swamped. Aldridge, well, that was loose. It's gathered up on the bounce, though, by Pat Moran. And there's still a ground inside their own half here. Chapel-Howe, even he is being turned back and repelled.
Kick pressure now, they need some kick pressure.
Burke was behind the ruck that time. Craven will look to get it away. It wasn't a clean kick.
Good defensive set there from Barrow.
Onus now on Broadbent and co. The back three to deliver. And the home fans tried to roar their team on here. Costello flings one wide to Carter. Carter rolling back the ears.
Well, the chance in their arm now, aren't they, the Raiders?
Johnston. Here goes Wilkinson. Pilots Barrow a couple of extra metres forward. 6 points behind a converted score. Jackson. Now out the back, Cresswell. Costello flicks the pass wide, and he's into the corner, Ryan Shaw. Or is he in touch?
No, he's in touch. Yeah, the Oldham players there, they were all pointed to the touch, so they obviously saw the flag raised. They were trying to draw the referee's attention to that. But they have some good questions at Barrow this last 3 or 4 minutes, and that needs to be maintained now. Another good defensive set is essential if they're going to rescue this game. Some lovely movement there, left to right. It's from Jackson and then Johnson. And Cresswell, I think, has been excellent all afternoon. Half created the chance via the centre Costello, but Shaw just got a foot into touch. Great opportunity there from Barrow. And we're having a good finish, Matt.
Absolutely. Just to guide the clock, by the way. Probably a little more than the 8 minutes showing. We've had a couple of stoppages, so we might be a little bit clock in the red by the time the hooter and the timekeeper's clock comes up to the finish point. 16-10 the score, and Oldham the side in possession. The visitors are the side at the moment who will go through to play Swinton or West Hull in the 4th round. That'll be an away tie.
Well, they've gone back to route one, and it's a very effective route one, isn't it? As Craig Kopczak's carried, he's left 2 Barrow defenders in his wake, and the physio's on.
Yeah, Tom Wilkinson feeling the press. Adam Jackson also feeling the heat.
They look a tired team though now, don't they? I mean, you know, they were upset by Brad Walker pulling out in the warm-up and caused a reshuffle. Make sure that there were some youngsters who've been on the bench, and when them youngsters have come off the bench, it's shown, in all honesty. And you know, the experience of the Oldham side, they've really taken full advantage of that. And it's been a very accomplished second-half performance from the Red and Whites.
Just see Matty Wildie has his card in his hand. I think he's about to return for Oldham, and his experience, his guile, his...
Yeah, if you want somebody to close the game out, he's absolutely ideal, is Matt. He's been around a long time, and he's smart. He's smart.
Kopczak, after that destructive carry, will play it. Aldridge keeps it moving. Oldham now within Barrow territory. Aldridge finds Craven. Wants a chip ahead into space.
Good kick.
Trying to make that a contest here. Ryan Shaw trying to watch it out of play with Johnson sniffing.
Yeah. He did. Yeah. Only just. I think it was virtually blowing that over the sideline, wasn't it, at the end?
Everything but touch it. Willing. And Barrow will get the ball back here, but from an Oldham perspective, they still have the scoreboard on their side. There's the scoreboard pressure on Barrow's end and the territory.
Well, it's not a fast pitch either, is it? You know, because of the conditions underfoot, it's very difficult to score a long-distance try. It really is. Your try's got to come by big man getting over small man, or kick or something like that, but they haven't got the field position to do that.
I think that's Macon who's playing on an edge at the moment. He's more of a mobile front rower and playing been a back row with all the injuries that are knocking around at the moment for Oldham. Johnston goes for a big one wide and then pushed back on the inside for Carter. Well read in the end by O'Keefe. Agoro held his ground too. And now Oldham have got the ball back here.
Yeah, another error. And it's just building and building and building, all this pressure.
Chapel House slugs it into the guts of this Barrow defence. Aldridge has Kopczak on his shoulder, but instead
Well, will Ellis go for a one-pointer? Because that will make it 2 scores, and I think that'll be 1 score too many.
Aldridge looking to take the line on himself here. Elijah Taylor's set, Chapel House set. Kopczak is winding up as well. Taylor lost his footing, and incorrect play the ball again. Penalty.
I think there's been a bit of dissent there as well. So I think he called incorrect play of the ball. Now I think someone said something, so that's cost them 30-odd metres as that. That shelping at the referee. Well, it's just not worth it. It's hard enough when in these conditions and in a tight game like this, without giving the opposition territory.
Cresswell feeling the effects of the challenge from Lawton. Well, apologies if you heard that little bit of language there from the fans. So Cresswell feeling there around the ribs. And he won't be the only player who will be feeling the bruises.
They've all absolutely committed everything effort-wise, no doubt about that. You know, you'd say Barrow's second-half performance wasn't as good as the first half. They've become a little disciplined with the ball. They haven't completed the sets as well, and that's given Oldham the field position in order to capitalise and score those 12 points in the second half with no reply.
And McMillan taking them forward that time. Smith finds Wilkinson. Looking to backpedal Oldham here, but no mean feat because they're pretty sturdy themselves here. Wood and Elijah Taylor snapping into another challenge. Kopczak with it. Elijah Taylor. Now there's a bang of heads here. Was there a mutual bang of heads? Either way, Wood looking a little woozy.
Well, there's two very committed players there in Taylor and Wood, and it just shows. I mean, It's been a cup tie. It's been really, really good, and you know they have slogged it out. Interception.
Yeah, O'Keefe took the pass from Cresswell, and this might well just be it. This might be Oldham into round 4. Ben O'Keefe was on the right spot at the right time, ghosted away, and must now have put Oldham into that 4th round, where they will play Swinton or Westhull. Sean Longside continue their march in 2024. A bright start in the 1895, and now it looks like a winning position in the Challenge Cup too. Yeah,
really good work there from O'Keefe it was. But it's this defence, it's up there, it's rushing. Lawton it was, who put pressure on Johnson, and they went for the money ball. They've had to do because the 6-point down. It's Cresswell. Unfortunately, it's Cresswell's had such a good game who did that. But O'Keefe, you know, is really alert to that opportunity. He seized it, he's crossed under the post, and that's Oldham into the bag for the next draw. And in all honesty, this second half performance has been absolutely outstanding from Oldham. They've tightened the discipline up. They haven't given penalties away to give Barrow field position, and they've just camped. They've played field position rugby, and despite this, you know, it's very claggy conditions. You know, when we say you can't play fast, they've managed to come up with 18 points in the second half with no reply. So it's been quite comprehensive, the second half performance, and well done to Oldham. But Barrow contributed brilliantly with their effort.
So Jamie Ellis just knocks it through for a 12-point lead. Time against Barrow. All odds now on Oldham in the next round, which, as we saw from that little graphic before, ties will be played over the weekend of the 24th and 25th of February. And we will have one of those ties here on BBC Sport as we go all the way through to the 6th round before we join Network for the quarter-finals onwards to the final. So, the boot downfield, gathered up by Oldham. The Barrow PA announcer trying to do his bit. But despite a brave effort putting Paul Crowley's side, you get the sense John won't be the first side who get taken down by this Oldham team.
Well, Halifax have beaten Halifax, haven't they, in the 1895 Cup? Drew with London, or in a Super League team in a trial game last week, and they've gone to Barrow, which is a difficult place to go, and come away with a great victory.
So Kopjak wrestling with Makin. That's a messy scramble in the mud there. Here comes Chapel Howe, and again both he and brother Ted they just lanced Barrow every opportunity, and Craven just tips that one behind, or should I say into touch. Chew down the clock.
Yeah, well, that's smart play, isn't it? That's what you do as a half-back. You manage the game, and he's managed the game there by running the clock down. And as we've said before, the clock on our screen is a guide, but there can't be that long left now, Matt. And, you know, it's a 2-score lead, and they've defended really well of Oldham. Just conceded one try, although there's a bit of ill-discipline there.
Yeah, Ogunwole copping one around the head, the sapper. This game has been a sapper, that's for sure. It's been utterly absorbing, but those players will feel it.
It's been a cracking cup tie in difficult conditions by two highly committed teams.
Smith at dummy half. Here goes Wood. Burke. Oh, lovely line. Wilkinson. Gonna make it interesting maybe here. His final ball. Just couldn't find Johnston. And O'Keefe dives on the loose one.
Well, they've had half chances, haven't they, Barrow? Even though they've been so dominated in this second half, they've had a couple of half chances that they just haven't managed to nail.
Got his line perfect, but it's just almost as... He didn't know how to draw the defender.
It's a 2-on-1, yeah. It's a basic skill as well. School kids should be practicing that. It's just a 2-on-1, get to the inside shoulder, rock him on his heel, and then you offload to the support player.
So Oldham survive again, but that would have really made it interesting. These final moments here at what has previously been known as Craven Park, Northern Competition Stadium these days. Famous old ground.
Yeah, Craven kicking there just to buy some territory and say, good luck running 80 metres to score in these conditions.
Yeah, Luke Cresswell looks at the line and almost and resignedly takes it in, knowing he's going to get clattered. As Joe Wardle and Elijah Taylor put him on his backside. McMillan certainly putting his hand up for the team. Finn McMillan, the late addition to the squad. So, final moments here, the home sponsors.
Good kick from Johnson, which he's been pretty consistent about, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's the home sponsor selection as man of the match, as we heard over the PA system there. Agoro scragged by Josh Wood and not allowed to go any further.
I think you'll be seeing that more and more of the season, where Wood and Aaron Smith are both on the field at the same time.
Oh, Oldham have got the ball. They're trying to hold up the tack. Oh, it's all going off here, isn't it? So, yeah, a bit of a fracas at the back end here. After a game that's largely been played.
It's been played a great spirit, man. You know, there's a big reward for this, isn't there? It's third round of the Challenge Cup. You know, it's getting through to the fourth round. You're getting nearer and nearer a Super League team, a big team that you might well bring to your home ground for great revenue. So it's been a big game, and as I say, I've repeated this before, both teams really committed and have given their all. There'll be some sore bodies and some tired bodies out there, believe you me.
Just trying to sort things out here, Marcus Griffiths. As the hooter sounds, but depending what he gives here, he might have one last act. He's certainly reaching for his card.
It's a red
card. There is a red card. So Johnston, I think, has been picked out. Has it? No, it's Broadbent who's been picked out for Barrow. There's also been a player picked out for Oldham. So Marcus Griffiths.
Well, it's one way again, the warm water in the shower, isn't it? Yeah. Hello, is it? So
is this another? Is this a separate red, or is it? I mean, it's a bit chaotic here. Well, Marcus Griffiths has put his cards away.
It appears he sent Broadbent off anyway.
Yeah, he raised the card to one Oldham player, but quite who he picked out of that lineup. So ball goes to touch, and that is it. It's all over.